Hi, my name is Madelilne Mayhew, and I currently live in an apartment called Ion, which is right next to DePaul's Lincoln Park campus in Chicago, Illinois, in the U.S., obviously. I love the environment here, and I think something super special to me is the quad. It's at the center of campus, and it's basically just a really open and natural area with lots of trees and open space. People go there a lot to hang out or do homework, and I just really appreciate it because it brings people together, and it's also a really pretty place to enjoy nature and relieve stress after going to class. As far as natural disasters go, we don't really have many here in Illinois, but where there are many is in my home state of Florida. The disasters happening in Florida have been progressively increasing as years go by, and it can especially be seen with the most recent disaster, Hurricane Ian. Many of my family members live in Florida, and they all experienced some sort of loss after this hurricane, such as structures, animals, and hours from work. There were many families down there as well that lost family members, which is not uncommon around there, especially when such extreme disasters like these occur. Many species of plants and animals can suffer greatly too after these storms, and it's just really sad to know that so much damage is done to them in such a short amount of time. The time it takes to repair these damages too and heal the wounds surmounts the amount of time it took to create them. Climate change has had a huge impact on the frequencies of these weather events. The heat causes the humidity to rise, putting more water into the air and ultimately creating a greater amount of storms and hurricanes that are more severe and prolonged. I personally have experienced many tropical storms and hurricanes throughout my childhood that have become more and more frequent over the years. I didn't really know that climate change was affecting my life, but that's also because I wasn't even aware of what climate change was. Now that I look back, though, I can see very clearly that climate change was driving the disasters that impacted me so greatly, and I'm now more conscious that these things don't necessarily occur naturally anymore. Either way, whether I knew it was affecting me or not, climate change still made me feel not so great. Hurricanes and tropical storms are extremely stressful, and you're constantly having to prepare for the worst. It definitely put a lot of mental strain on my life whenever there were natural disasters approaching, and I was always very afraid of how bad it would end up being. As far as my emotional responses to climate change, when it comes to thinking about myself, my family, and my community, it has really just brought me a lot of sadness, if I'm honest. It's so scary to think about how rapidly the world has changed in my lifetime, because I'm only 19 years old, and I'm fearful about what the future holds. There are so many health and safety impacts that are super scary to think about, and now that I don't live there, I'm always worried about my siblings and other family members who do. Florida is a hot spot when it comes to climate extremes and irregular or extreme weather, and my community is definitely vulnerable. I hope that soon policies can be added or altered so we can encourage people to make changes in their own lives to reduce emissions and other drivers of climate change. My vision for my community is to create a better awareness of the realities of global warming. Not many people where I'm from believe in the idea of climate change, and they think it's a bunch of made-up lies created by scientists, which in my opinion is ridiculous. I would try to encourage people to start small and show them that it isn't as hard as it seems to reduce the amount of waste you produce or the amount of energy you use or the amount of times you use your car for transportation. Little things really can make a difference once they're done in numbers. My goal is also to move back there and work in a field that's focused on reducing negative human impacts on the environment. It's so important that we take action now in order to protect our future, and people like us who are so passionate about our world's health are vital to that cause. Thank you for listening.